Okay, how are you doing? My name is Mark Russell. I am basically Baton Rouge mathematics tutor. I am the tutor, and this is an example of the online classroom. This is a classroom provided by WizIq. It's actually an Indian company. It's a very good programming company that make very good products, and this is one of them. And you can see that this is a branded classroom. You can see our logo here in the bottom. Actually, you can't see it. Anyway, what I want to do is introduce you to the classroom. This is what you're seeing is what I see in the classroom. I'm going to try to make a video. I'm going to have to get two computers going to videotape what the student will see in the classroom, and I'll try to get that up in the next day or two. You see across the top here is a file, edit, the typical control buttons that you see. There's also, though, a content library. So as it opens, you can see I don't actually have any content now, but I can upload content that students may have requested that I create, and make that available to them during the class. Go over it with them and then let them download it. I can create media. I have a lot of capability of creating media that helps them visualize mathematics. I can upload that to my library, and they can download that. Actually, I can give them a link to download it. I can share the screen with them. It says screen sharing. I can't actually share it at the moment because there has to be someone to share it with, and I'm the only one in the classroom. I can give polls, have students take polls. I rarely do that. There's also breakout rooms, though, and what I use that for is if I have two students, if I have one student that really understands some topic very well, and another student who's having difficulty understanding the topic, I might put them in a breakout room. That's a room with just the two of them together. A lot of times, when an adult can't explain a concept to a student, another student often has the ability to do that, and it's just because students relate to one another better than they do to an adult. You can see here that my face is being videoed. I appear in the video. The student will as well if the student has their webcam on. They don't have to. I don't need to be able to see them. I need to be able to hear them. They need their audio on, but not their webcam. Below that, there's an attendee list. Right now it says attendee list 0 because I don't count. But there's actually a maximum of 10 students who can be in the classroom at any time. I rarely have 10 in the classroom at once. But if we do start getting full, what I ask students to do is not just hang out in the classroom when they have their questions answered. Just go ahead and leave the classroom and let someone else come in. Beneath that, there's a chat. The first thing you need to do when you come in is in the chat room, type in your birth date, the student's birth date, and first initial of the first name, the initials of the first and last name. And that's so that I can identify who they are. And if you watch the other video, the video on the where I actually give the lesson, draw the lesson out, you'll know why I do that. That's so I can mark on the lesson, on the video of the lessons, where that student's lesson begins. And I can go back in and edit that lesson and put in a stop so that a student can fast forward through the lessons to find their lesson. Here on the left, on my left, I have various tools. This is a selection tool. That's just this. There's a pointer tool, and that's just a big arrow, and I can point to various things here. There's the freehand tool, and that's essentially what you saw on the I Explain video. I prefer the I Explain though because you'll see when I write on here, I'm going to write my name, that it isn't actually, the quality isn't actually as good as on the I Explain. The I Explain is much better for rendering, so that's what I prefer to use. There is text. I can actually type text in here. Now, I do that a lot of times. And I do that because if you see across the top here, I have the ability to put in mathematical symbols. It's not a large list of mathematical symbols. It's not exhaustive by any means, but there are a few, and they're actually helpful. But they're sublists. These are various different lists. These are mostly logical symbols. You see they're various symbols. Arrows, lots of arrows. We use arrows a lot in writing mathematics. Triangles. Set operators. These are not used so much in high school. The Greek letters, these are used quite a lot, or they were when I was in high school, mostly in geometry. Just another set of random set. You can boldface, italic, underline text. I can do superscripting and subscripting, which comes in handy, particularly in the higher level courses. I have the ability to do very simple shapes, and these come in very handy for geometry students. I can do a rectangle or square. I can do a circle, or I can make that an ellipse. And students in Algebra 2, advanced math, pre-calculus, they'll deal with these ellipses quite a bit. This is called a conic section. It's one of 4 conic sections. Straight lines. You can enter straight lines. Triangles. Triangles come in very handy in geometry and trigonometry. Trigonometry means the study of triangles, or the measures of triangles. I can also put in a graph. Now, I have the ability to put a graph in the iExplain. It's not as good as this graph. This gives a very, very detailed graph with a lot of interlines. We call these interlines. Then, of course, I can erase it all. But then I have special shapes. I can put in special shapes. And various polygons, arrows, cylinder, cone, and cube. Those come in handy later in geometry. You start talking about three-dimensional space. And smiley faces. Students like smiley faces. We have live support chat available. If some issue comes up with the classroom, I can get support pretty quickly. I have the paid version of this class. It's expensive, and I get live support. There's a clock that tells us how much time has elapsed. It's not really. I don't really pay attention to that. I don't limit any student's time. To the explanation I give any student, if it, whatever time it takes, it takes. If I have to keep the classroom open to get to everybody, that's what I do. I'm up late anyway. It's 12:52 a.m. right now, and I'm still up. I tend to stay up pretty late, but I get up pretty late. And that's essentially the classroom. What you should do is try to enter the classroom. I have for a week or so. I'm going to have, as people enroll, I'm going to have a classroom open during the mornings, so that parents can try to sign in, so you can see what's involved in signing in. There are a lot of different ways to sign in, or a lot of different devices that you can sign in on, and each one of them is a little bit different. So it's very difficult to create instructions on how to sign on, because there are various different ways to do it depending on what device you're on. You can sign on using any kind of internet-connected device, from a desktop computer to an iPhone or an Android phone. For the iPhone, Android phones, the tablets, there are apps, and they're free apps, and that's what you would use you would actually use a browser in that case. You would use one of the apps. um, on a if you're on a desktop or a laptop, there is an app available. You can download it. You don't have to. You can view the class simply through a browser. Um, the app for the desktop and laptop is free. It's pretty small. It downloads pretty quickly. I would download it. Some people don't like to download things, or if you have a school computer, you may not be able to download them. So it's not necessary if you're on a computer. All you need is a browser. But if you have the ability to download the app, I would do it. So that is essentially the classroom. If you haven't done it already, watch the other video, the video that shows the example lesson. What I do is I share that screen. I open that program, or that program's already open, and I share the screen with the student, and the student can see that program. Like I said, if you haven't watched that, please go watch that. That's an example of just a little mini lesson. And these two together, this is the technology I use to deliver tutoring, deliver the lesson, and it's very popular. Parents don't have to get out into evening traffic. You don't have to interrupt your family life. Most families are pretty busy in the evenings. And you don't have to come into Baton Rouge. If you don't live in Baton Rouge, you don't have to come into Baton Rouge to receive tutoring. You can receive it wherever you are. In fact, I have some students who, in the afternoons, they're younger students. They're off watching whatever their older sibling is doing. They're at their practice, or they're at a game, or they're at whatever they do, and they access the classroom on their smartphone while they're watching their older sibling, take part in school activities. So it's really very efficient way to do this, to offer this homework support. And that's why I'm going in that direction. So I hope to see you register. If you have any questions, fill out the contact form on the website, and someone will contact you, and we'll answer any questions you have. If you'd like, we'll open a classroom, and we can interact through the classroom, and you can see exactly what it's like. So give us a consideration.